Hello, Walking the Ropes fans. I am Blake, and welcome to the next episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review for AEW Rampage from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And before we get into the Rampage review, we're going to quickly run down the results of Elevation and Dark from this week. But before all of that, make sure to check out the Walking the Ropes link tree for all things Walking the Ropes. For AEW Dark Elevation this week, it started with Amy Sakura with Lulu Pensy defeating Sky Blue. Daniel Garcia and 2.0 defeated Shane Stessen, Justin Corino, and the One Man Thrill Ride. Sean Spears with Tully Blanchard and Wardlow defeated Fuego del Sol and Marco Stunt. Lance Archer with Jake the Snake Roberts defeated Luis Bruno. Abaddon defeated Devine. Never seen that name before, I apologize. Santana and Ortiz defeated Oberian and Kodama. Chris Statlander with Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta defeated Becca. The Acclaimed defeated Colin Delaney and Cheech. FTR defeated Elijah Dean and Zach Nystrom. Sonny Kiss defeated KM, and after the match, Kiss had to fend off an attack from Joey Janela and Kyla Rose. Or Rosie, sorry. Or Rossi, probably. For AEW Dark, FTR, Wardlow, and Sean Spears, The Pinnacle, defeated Baron Black, Aaron Fry, Austin Green, and Dean Alexander. Abaddon defeated Valentina Rossi. The Acclaimed defeated Michael Martinez and Very Morales. I apologize for butchering a bunch of these names. Sonny Kiss defeated Cal Hero. Chris Statlander defeated Zeta Zhang. Sky Blue defeated Maddie Werenkowski. Eddie Kingston defeated Anthony Henry. The Gun Club defeated Hunter Knott, Rosario Grillo, and Cameron Stewart. Diamante defeated Santana Garrett. The Varsity Blondes with Julia Hart defeated the Wingmans Pretty Peter Avalon and Ryan Nemeth. And Daniel Garcia with 2.0 defeated Eric Lockhart. Serpentico with Luther defeated Marco Stunt. And Orange Cassidy with Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta defeated Nick Camarado with The Factory. And finally, we will move on to AEW Rampage from Friday night. CM Punk and Daniel Garcia, they talk about their upcoming match, and Garcia says Punk is a phony, and he was mad that it wasn't all about him anymore. So tonight Garcia's going to put an end to it. CM Punk says he's going to finish what Garcia started in Chicago tonight in Philly. We get our singles match, CM Punk versus Daniel Garcia. Garcia has a lot to prove here, as this will be his toughest opponent yet. These two start out slowly, and Garcia seems to be a step behind Punk, until 2.0 gives him some help and sends Punk's knee into the ring as the ref is distracted. Garcia uses this to his advantage as targeting Punk's knee whenever he can, and he goes to spear Punk's knee, it basically looked like, but Punk rose up his knee and hit him in the chin with it. And they exchange blows here, and Punk stops Garcia in his tracks and goes for the GTS, but Garcia rolls out and locks in so he doesn't roll out of the ring, he rolls out of the GTS and locks in a sharpshooter. And Punk fights out and takes out Garcia and 2.0 outside of the ring, and then sends Garcia back in the ring and locks in the Anaconda Vice after a pile driver for the win. CM Punk defeats Daniel Garcia, and for my Malteser scale, I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. It was a solid match, honestly. I don't expect AEW to give us 5-star matches all the time, even though they seem to pretty well do. Moving on, Leo Rush goes to talk about him and Dante, but Seidel says he doesn't want to hear it. Leo says Seidel needs to prove himself next week against CM Punk on Rampage, and Seidel says okay. The AEW World Tag Team Championships are on the line as the Lucha Brothers defend against the Acclaimed. And the Acclaimed are smart, knowing they have an experience disadvantage, so they jumped the Lucha Brothers before the match started, but it didn't work as the Lucha Brothers take out the Acclaimed, and once the match actually started, they sent, it was Bowens and Penta in the ring, and Bowens actually took a bit of a beating for a bit, but then they ended up double teaming Penta to get the advantage, and Penta has to fight off both men, and then finally does make it to the tag to Phoenix, who takes on both men at the same time, and then we get a super kick party as everyone gets laid out. The Acclaimed set up for the mic drop, but the Lucha Brothers then stop them and hit the assisted package pile driver for the win. The Lucha Brothers defeat the Acclaimed to retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 3.75 out of 5. It was actually a really good match. It had great examples of what the Acclaimed are going to be able to do here in the future as they come on the rise of AEW's tag team rankings, and as well what the Lucha Brothers are going to do in their tag title reign, because they are far from losing these titles. We then get the women talking about the TBS Championship. We also got a video package about the TBS title and all that. And they are all excited about the tournament. We then get a singles match, Jade Cargill versus Sky Blue. And from the get-go, Sky tries to beat on Jade, but after a quick flurry, Jade hits a pump kick, followed by Jaded for the win. It was a very quick match. Jade Cargill defeated Sky Blue. For my Malteser scale, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. It was solid. There was really nothing wrong with it. We obviously know Jade is going to be one of the top contenders for the TBS title, if not just going straight for the women's title, the AEW women's title. But she's definitely going to be a tough contender for the future. After the match, Jade continues to beat on Sky, and Thunder Rosa comes out to make the save. We then get the men in the main event talking about the street fight up next. Starks says Cage isn't on his level. Cage says Starks will find out who better than Brian Cage, and it's nobody. We then get the FTW World Championship Philadelphia Street Fight. Ricky Starks defending against Brian Cage. And Starks tries to grab a chair to have an advantage at the start, but Cage stops him and starts to beat down him, tossing Ricky into the barricades, slamming him onto the apron, and Cage brings in a trash can, and Starks uses this kind of moment of breather, I guess you could say, to grab one of the pool cues that fell out of the trash can and starts to take down Brian slowly, picking him apart with different weapons. But Cage is definitely going to take more than that. Whenever Ricky goes for a kick out, or goes for a pinfall, it's just a kick out. Whenever Cage comes back, though, Ricky uses a different weapon to stop him, eventually hitting him with a chain. And Starks was going to jump Cage using a trash can for elevation, but Cage stops him and suplexes Ricky into the can. And Team Taz then comes out to distract Cage, and Ricky uses this to his advantage, gets a near fall, but Cage comes back, hits a big clothesline, and Hobbs stops the pin. Looks like he was definitely going to win there, to pin Ricky there, but Hook then low blows Cage, followed by Ricky hitting the Rochambeau for the win. Ricky Starks defeats Brian Cage to retain the FTW World Championship. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 3.75 out of 5. It was a really solid match. It's really cool to see these Extreme Rules type matches. The Philadelphia Street Fight, no holds barred stuff. It's really awesome to see because we don't see it incredibly often anymore. I mean, I believe Extreme Rules happened and there was not very many stipulation matches on it at all, and so it's very cool to just see these matches every now and again. For my overall for the show, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It was a really solid show, but like I said, I don't expect AEW to blow it out of the water every single episode. For my match of the night, it goes to the tag team title match. Those guys did amazing, and the Acclaimed are definitely going to be a team to watch in the future. For my segment of the night, it goes to Lio Rush setting up a match for Sydal and Punk. I'm looking forward to that match, as well as I'm looking forward to see what Leo's got in store in the future here. For my performer of the night, it goes to the Lucha Brothers. They did amazing in their title defense, coming back quickly from being jumped. It was awesome. And that is it for this episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review. Thank you all for dropping in. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload a video. And I'll see you in the next one.